What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka New York Prepper. In this video, I just want to talk to you guys about the importance of practicing with your sidearm at long distances. I'm at the range right now, and we're going to shoot at 50 yards with my Rock Island 1911 10mm. This is a double stack. It has a 16 round capacity. So I'm going to put a target up at 50 yards. I'm going to see what kind of groups I get. This is the first time shooting this pistol at 50 yards, and I got the factory sights on here. I do plan to switch these sights out for night sights, but let's see what we can do with this pistol at 50 yards. It's really important to practice at longer distances with your pistol. Don't just practice at 10 yards or 15 yards, because there may be situations where you have to shoot at 50 yards or even 100 yards. So it's good to practice at longer distances with your sidearm. I would say up to 50 yards is fine, but I personally know guys that train out to 100 yards, even 200 yards with their sidearms. And those guys are bodyguards, so their sidearm is their main weapon, so they like to train at 100 yards and 200 yards with their sidearms. But I think just training up to 50 yards, I think, is important with your sidearm. So get out there and spend some time at the range shooting at 50 yards. Don't just focus only at close range, because you never know what situation you're going to be in. And also, you never know what kind of drop you're going to get with your ammo. Just because your firearm is zeroed at 15 yards doesn't mean it's going to be zero at 50. Especially, we're talking about pistols, which have low velocity and heavy bullets. They tend to drop a lot more. So, you need to know what your drop is at 50 yards, because God forbid if you ever have to use your pistol at 50 yards for a self-defense scenario, be it against man or beast, you need to know how much you have to hold over to hit the target. So I'm going to put up a target at 50 yards and let's see what happens. All right, guys, just want to show you my hits at 50 yards. So I was aiming right here in the middle, okay, center mass area, and you can see I was quite low. There was 3 shots that I hit, 1, 2, and 3. That was my first 3-shot string right here. And then my second 3-shot string was 1, 2, and 3. So you can see I'm about a foot low at 50 yards. So that's good to know. This is a new handgun for me, so I've never shot it at 50 yards. But now I know that I'm low by a foot. And that's something that you wouldn't know unless you actually went to the range and shot your pistol at 50 yards, okay? Most people assume that because their pistol is dead on at 25 yards that it's going to be dead on at 50 yards, and that's not always the case. So you have to go to the range and shoot at 50 yards, guys. See what you can do at 50 yards. But these would have been perfect hits if I just held a little bit higher. You can see about a foot. So if I held a little bit higher, like up in this area, probably would have got them all right here in center mass. But I'm not really too worried about it because I'm going to get new sights on my pistol. So I'm not going to do any adjustments now because I'm going to switch out the sights to some night sights. But my sights are adjustable for elevation. I have the Rock Island 1911, and that's one of the nice things about 1911s is that you can get adjustable sights. So if you do want to shoot at 50 yards and you're grouping low like I am over here, okay, I can make the adjustments as required, and I'll be dead on at 50 yards and maybe an inch or two high at 25 yards. But you could see a 1 foot drop here. Okay, so this is why you got to go and practice at different distances. You can't just, only practice at 10 yards or 15 yards because you never know what situation you're in. You may have to shoot at 50 yards. And if you didn't go to the range and you didn't shoot at 50 yards before, and 99% of your training is at 10 yards or 25 yards, you would have never known that your pistol is grouping a foot low, okay? So give it a shot, guys. Practice at 50 yards. Very, very important. But that's all I got for now. So take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.